Okay, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of Mr. Bell's Math. Today we're going to talk about absolute value. I know it's something that you've been asking about and you've been questioning, Mr. Bell, when am I going to learn absolute value? Well, today's the day. All right, so congratulations. I know you should feel proud. Absolute value, we'll go ahead and start with a nice little definition of what absolute value is. Absolute value is the distance an integer is from 0 on the number line. Okay? Because absolute value represents distance, it's always, always, always. In case you didn't hear me, I said it's always non-negative. Now your first question might be, Mr. Bell, what's non-negative mean? Well, non-negative means it's always going to be positive, not negative. An absolute value answer is always positive. Please remember that. Okay, so how do you find absolute value? Another great question, my young friends. You find the absolute value and you use absolute value by counting the distance from 0 to a number on a number line. Since absolute value is, what do we say? Always? Yeah, always. Non-negative. Now look at that. How about that? A typo, Mr. Bell. My gosh, that should read, it is. A useful tool to represent distance or an amount of change. Okay? Now, keep that in mind because we're going to do our first example. Our first example is, let's just say, whoa, hold on. I gave that one away. All right, here we go. 3 examples. Okay, we're going to find the absolute value of 8. We're going to find the absolute value of 5, and we're going to find the absolute value of 0, or negative 5 rather, excuse me, negative 5, and the absolute value of 0. Okay, let's start with the absolute value of 8. So I'm going to switch to the pen. I'm going to get a blue ink. All right, so to find the absolute value of 8, what did the definition say? It said count from 0 to the number. Okay, so we're going to start at 0, and we're going to count. You know what? Let's change that. Let's change that to make that a little bit thinner. And let's go with that one. Okay. So we start at 0 and we count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many places did we say 8 was from 0 on the number line? We said it was 8 places. All right, that is an 8, believe it or not. I could probably make that a little bit thinner and possibly erase it, and we'll try it again. All right, that, our absolute value of 8 is, in fact, 8. Okay, and this is how you would write it. Okay, so you use these vertical bars to talk about absolute value. So this would read, the absolute value of 8 equals 8. The absolute value of 8 equals 8. All right. These lines represent absolute value. Whenever you see a number or an expression inside these lines, that means we're talking about absolute value. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Negative 5. All right. So what did the definition say? It said count from 0 to the number on the number line. So let's do that. Negative 5 we're counting to. So we start at 0. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bingo, right there. Guess where we wound up? Well, how many places did we count? Let's put it that way. We counted 5 places. Okay, so the answer to the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. Okay, and here it is. I'm just going to put that a little bit lower so you don't get confused. The absolute value, once again, these vertical bars on either side, of negative 5 equals negative 5. I'm going to say that again. The absolute value of negative 5 equals 5. We were 5 units away from 0. That's why it's 5. The answer is what? Always positive. All right. Let's look at 0. I put it in gray because I was going to try to match up the color, but here's 0 on the number line. Wait a second. 0 on the number line. And so I'm going to count from 0 to 0. And I can't do it because I'm at 0. So guess what the absolute value of 0 is? Please tell me somebody said 0, because that would be the correct answer. The absolute value of 0 is 0. Okay? This is not hard at all, guys. So this is how we would denote it. Okay? Vertical absolute value bars. Absolute value of 0 equals 0. Alright? That's it. That's all there is to it.